of the Fancy Games DAO. So you're more than welcome to check out Polymus's YouTube channel and check that out. And this is the first time that I've had a second run in with any team, and fittingly so. This is not to play favorites, but this is my favorite crew. This is the most lively Discord that I'm a part of, and I can scroll down and show you guys how many Discords I'm in.
I think
So
that's exactly how playing favorites works, though. So just because you
yeah,
said not to play favorites does not mean that you're not playing favorites. But we love you guys seriously, and the number of people in your group since the Fancy Birds has kicked off. It seems like it's going up and up and up. I'm getting tagged every day. Hey, add me to the Polemos role, add me to the Polemos role like every day. So that's awesome. Congratulations to you guys
yeah.
for getting that growth, and thank you for being a part of the community. Every time I pop into the room, man, your guys are helping out, answering questions, just being positive, just bringing the right energy, so it's really such a great relationship, and we're so happy to have you.
I completely agree, man. This is I gotta wabble in real quick there, just do my thing. But yeah, community is really what Polyvis is all about, and we really love engagement. And I really do pay attention when I hop around to how active the devs and the mods and everybody are in their chat. How much they respond to their people, and I just love the involvement here. You guys like probably get sidetracked too often, and I know my first question to you guys was how many minutes of sleep a night do you get? Because it's probably not even hours at this point; it's probably just minutes. But
None. Literally none.
yeah, should
Yeah.
be sponsored by Nitro, right?
Yeah,
Oh
like really,
man.
literally in my hand right now.
But that's the life. And luckily it's a true passion, right? Because gaming and crypto is like everything to me. You know, it's just it's just amazing to be a part of this. And at this inflection point in history. I mean, if you think about it, just a few short years ago, the only career you could have in gaming was as an abused developer, in a crunch somewhere in some warehouse
Yeah.
in San Francisco. And now, people make livings off video games by literally just playing them, whether they're streaming or play to earn. I mean, it's just so cool to see this.
It's an economic revolution, and it's like, I spent entirely too many hours. I don't even want to tell you how many years of game time I had logged into WoW. Um, and yeah, so it's like it's nice to actually get something back for that time played, because you're really supporting an economy, and up until now, it has strictly been the developers' economy, the studio's economy, because let's face it, most of the developers weren't even getting treated very well anyway, and so you're really just supporting this like little centralized unit, and we finally come to an age where it's finally been realized that hey, we can all make money and good money doing it. So it's just really amazing to actually be paid for your time. And there's some diligence and strategy and effort involved. You get out of it what you put into it. I always tell people that this isn't just a free ride or anything like that. But yeah, this is amazing times worldwide for people. And I'm not going to go on to my little economic tangent, but the kind of like physical worker implications from having so many people able to work remote is actually a positive thing, and I think we're going to see some good changes. But I'm not going to go on that tangent today. This is meant to be a fun, unscripted, riotous, going to just keep myself in general chat and ask
Yeah.
and just try to keep up with questions. So,
Well,
Cavalorn
I
asked,
think,
"Where's the AMA chat?" And we're just gonna do this in general, people. So just ask your questions, Mike T. We are going to try and record this. I should have two different people that are trying to record this.
we always have a great
So
user that records it too, so I'm sure someone's got it. Before we get off that, the track about the economy and kind of like giving people opportunities that they might not otherwise have. Do you want to explain a little bit how your crew makes it easier and a little bit less cost restrictive for some people to get involved and get going?
yeah, so that's actually a good point and a good differentiator right there because you see a lot of these GameFi guilds that are popping up that are throwing assets around kind of like willy-nilly. And I think that that's going to have some repercussions in the end because a lot of these studios, a lot of these games are just not going to survive. We saw the NFT bubble of last year where anybody could post some sort of like pixelated hot garbage. And there's probably an NFT project called Hot Garbage that did very well
Yeah,
last
I've
year.
got hot
But
garbage number 640.
yeah, that's right. We primarily focus on quality studios that are really trying to make a difference in this space. So yes, we are going to have scholarships available, but in addition to scholarships, we actually have a university rolling out and just right around the corner that will have professional courses where people can learn about blockchain and internet security, learn about technology, and then we will have like the full gamut of courses from how to get into one of our partner games and building up to more advanced strategy techniques and skills. So not only are we offering people these scholarships, we're also giving them the tools to kind of maximize those scholarships. We're totally based on community engagement. We're very responsive and we'll be heavily involved in the esports side of things because as this play to earn evolves, you're going to see this becoming a lot more event tournament friendly, things like that. So that is our goal, is to basically really prepare people to play at their highest level. So we're not just doing this for the asset access, which you will get at Polymus, but we're also doing it so that we can really optimize the user experience, really grow together, and strengthen the metaverse. We're trying to bring this all together through quality gaming studios, which is why we're here today with the fancy team. So
Oh, that
Man,
sounds
fantastic.
amazing.
Definitely highlights, how good the guilds are for all of this.
Big picture stuff. And if you could offer a course in Solidity, we would really appreciate that. Just kind of get some more
yeah,
devs out there for us
man,
and
it's so funny. Like all these gaming studios are coming out and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this NFT sale, and then we're gonna use the funds to grow our team." And I'm like, "How? There's nobody left. Like the
oh
dev,
my
the
god.
Solidity dev pool is gone, people.
It's
All
very
of these
competitive.
talented, yeah. I don't know where they're gonna find these people, but they're going to. They promise they're going to. So
Yeah, don't tell our devs that, okay? That's top
yeah,
secret information.
yeah.
We keep them locked up in a basement and they have access only to our network.
Yeah, you gotta give them the little, Pavlov, lever and just feed them on a timer.
Oh man.
Oh
Every
man,
every line of
that's
code they get one pellet.
Yeah, yeah, with a sip of nitro with it to keep them going.
wait. I think that's my
Oh.
diet you're describing.
Oh, man.
No, but it really is a great time, and it's amazing that these incredibly and we are so lucky. We've got some great devs. It's one of those situations where we've got our big team chat, and somebody will put something in the chat, and then like 3 minutes later, you've got the response. You've got your new bird. You've got all the stuff like done. Our devs are top notch, super responsive, like really passionate about the project as well. So we are just extremely well rounded, and I'm so proud to say that because it really does take a village to make one of these projects work, and we've got everything covered from leadership to community to development to game theory experts to testers, and the guilds as well, man. And you start to consider the guilds part of your family, part of your company, because You guys really do so much, and just like I said, seeing the growth of your specific guild in our community has been so amazing. And it's like as soon as you assign that role, they become like super community members. They start getting more involved. They start helping each other out. They really start to feel like they're part of a family that's doing something more. So yeah, I'm just I'm even talking a little faster and more excited than usual because we've got the mint today. So I am amped up. But yeah, it's just such a well-rounded, good experience so far, and we're just gonna keep this going for years and years and years, and start adding people's favorite games. You know what I mean? This is gonna be so cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
I,
there's
I
so
think
much to do.
yeah, I touched on this in the last AMA, and I talk about this all the time. We only partner up with quality studios because there's just a lot of them popping up out there, and you have to be diligent. But not everybody really has the full picture, and it's awesome that I get certain bits of alpha and this and that. But this is not just Fancy Birds, people, and I know that we're in the Fancy Birds Discord and not the Fancy Games DAO Discord, Fancy Games Studio Discord. So people are like, "Oh, it's just this one offering," and it's like, no, these guys are like literally going to bring all kinds of favorite titles to play to earn. I'm super bullish on FNC. That's not financial advice. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna have all of these games, built on this one token. So what's gonna happen? I'll let you do your due diligence and explore that option. But this is so much more than just one game. This is so much more than just a one-dimensional offering. This is an entire package that's going to have all kinds of depth. Maybe their next offering isn't something you like, but then, a couple months down the road, they got something that is totally your jam. They're, it's going to be diverse. They're going to cater to the needs of the community because they are community oriented, and I'm just super excited to see what comes out. I'm just waiting for like a play to earn Contra or Smash Brothers TV or something. If y'all could make that happen, that would be
Man,
phenomenal.
Imagine
Ooh.
imagine the implications of like, okay, so like every time a project is like, oh, we're adding governance, and it just seems like something on the roadmap. They release it, everyone's like one governance, and then they release it, and like nothing happens. You know what I mean? It just seems like one of those like fluff features for a lot of these projects. But imagine if governance allowed you to encourage what game gets made next. Like, let's say there's a list of like 5 potential games, and depending on how much FNC you own, you get to decide which game comes out next. I mean, that's governance I can get behind. You know what I mean? Like we were just saying, I want to get some specific games up there. Let me get some of that governance power and let me make it happen. I think, stuff like that is going to
So
be
much
very
more
exciting.
interesting than DeFi, right? Like,
Oh my god, dude. Oh
everyone
my god.
arguing over a percentage point up or down all day long, and then there's so much more interesting stuff going on than that. It's just amazing, and seeing the gamification of governance, even, you know what I mean? Because there's just like anything else, you have different parties, competing and with their own desires. So it's going to be amazing to really keep fleshing out this sort of whole new take on gaming we've got going.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I field some questions from the audience? We've got some guy
Absolutely.
asking, can we breed immediately when the game launches? I know there's baby birds right around the corner.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Come on, people, ask some harder questions than that.
Are we speaking of that, I would like to get on record because I'm going to get a lot of these questions. When
Yeah,
breeding when breeding info, when breeding medium.
So we have a few we still have to get out. We have sort of the game rewards and how the shop is going to work, um, and obviously the breeding. This is all going to be out. We're trying to get it out before reveal and game launch, so everyone sort of knows what's going on. And I know that it's kind of top of list for a lot of people.
we also
Right.
have will the official revenue distribution article be published prior to FNC, or sorry, SFNC claiming going live? There's some people concerned about that. When will that when will that information be available?
So that's also like another medium that we're working on getting out. it should be out. Everything should be out before the actual launch of the game. Again, there's just some things that we're still going through.
Yeah, I know you guys are working at breakneck pace. Like there's just a billion things to tackle, and it's a lot to accomplish. Like it's nonstop work, and the crypto grind is real. There's a lot of people that they do their research, they do this and that, and the people that are like working behind the scenes are, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I get no sleep. And I'm not going to go any further on that tangent, but my
Dude,
wife
sleep
is
is
less than
something.
pleased.
Sleep is something that existed before crypto existed. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh, there's a mint at 3 a.m., but I'm just gonna miss it," and then your eyes just open at 2:58, and you just get out of bed like a zombie, go to your computer, and you sit there and click mint until it opens, and you're just like, "What happened to life?"
Yeah.
So I
I,
remember back to the ICO days before mints were even a thing, before NFTs
oh
were even
wow.
that popular, and it was the same thing. You literally had to program your wallet to interact with the contract. Otherwise, you had no chance of earning those ICO tokens, which would immediately go 10x in value, right? 100x in value right after the mint. And it's because clever people like us would get in there and basically snag as much of it as possible through automated contracts. So it's funny to see that has sort of lived on into another iteration now, and now it's the mint. Everyone is waking up at 4 a.m. or whatever odd time to make sure they get their share.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
like I said before, you get out of it what you put into it, and this information is available. Like if you don't know how to mint from contract, you can probably go. You could go into Polymus and say, "Hey, does anyone know how to mint from contract?" And you'll have 20 people pop up and say, "Here you go. Here's this walkthrough. Here's this and that." This is such a giving community. The entire crypto space is really caring for each other. And yes, there are people that are trying to get, all the NFTs for the flips or all the ICO coins, whatever. But like honestly, there's so many people out there that are willing to help, and I really appreciate being a part of this because I would not be here if it weren't for the help of quite a few individuals that answered some really noobish questions that I had. And I still have noobish questions. I committed an oversight this morning that I was just like, that is so laughable. Somebody of my knowledge not be should not have any issue with the issue that I had. But it's just there's so much going on in this space, and it's so rapidly changing. And yeah, nobody gets sleep because we're just trying to all keep up with what's going on. Um, for all the questions about breeding, I would like to just make a blanket statement that those will be available as soon as possible. As far as like, what are the breeding costs? Can you pay an SFNC? Yes, but
Yes, you can.
yeah, yeah. There's going to be a lot of breeding questions, and they will have that info out, appropriately before breeding happens, so you can prepare accordingly.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I see one question here. What will pass to the offspring from the parents' cosmetics attributes? So there's a possibility for any trait, anything from the parents to pass down. Um, and then from that, there's a percentage on that, and then there's a percent that you would roll into the new Gen 2 um, sort of theme and pool.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll
So
be exciting. It'll be kind of mixed up. We're trying to take all the good stuff from other breeding programs we know, and then also sort of sprinkle in some funness of our own.
Yeah, so like, I mean, when you're breeding, you're gonna have the chance to pull down some Genesis traits from those Genesis birds, obviously, um, and then we have a whole pool of different traits and legendaries and things that are Gen 2, which you're gonna have to sort of discover and mint out and breed out. Sorry, not mint, breed out and
Does,
sort of
does
see
everyone
what
know about Does everyone know about the mutations, Mister Fancy? Have we talked about that publicly yet?
I believe so. Mutated, yeah. I mean, we can go through it. So mutated traits will be visual traits. They're going to be trails, so there'll be unique trails that your bird will have. On the mint, on the NFT itself, I believe you'll have a little DNA logo, and you'll have that trait. That's how you'll know if it's a mutant. So that will also increase your overall earning. I think it's, what was it? 20%? What was it? I forgot. But your
Yeah, I think it was
overall,
about a 20% increase.
yeah, to your daily earning cap.
Well, shit,
Nice.
that's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's significant.
Yeah, some alpha coming
So
out right
something
there.
very specific. Blackbird wants to know if the bird with the ID number 1 has already been minted by the guild. So we know that 1,050 of them have already been set aside for the guilds and technically minted.
So
So is number 1 in that list?
those haven't like actually been like physically minted. Those were just we just held the spots there, and then we're gonna be airdropping and minting it. I believe I'm not. Don't quote me on this. I don't think it is, but we'll be going through that. And if that is the case, then what we'll probably have to do is just mint it within the actual mint period, and it just pulls random IDs.
Nice. There you go. Fairness. Are guild traits or guild birds obtainable through the minting process, or are those just strictly for the guilds?
Just for the guilds, but they can pass on those traits. They have a small percent chance to pass on their guild traits to Offspring.
There you go. About anti-botting and cheating, are you guys implementing measures? Because people have highlighted the past issues with Flappy Birds.
Yeah, we have a big backend system that's set up, sort of like pixel tracking and some script monitoring and things like that. So we do have what's the word, deterrence, or I think that's the word. We do
Safeguards,
have,
deterrence,
yeah,
yeah.
safeguards behind it. Another thing is that most play to earn games or play and earn games have that withdrawal period where it's locked up, and that kind of gives us a little bit of a buffer room so people don't instantly earn per se. Like, if you earn a token, you have to wait. Like in Axie, you got to wait 2 weeks or whatever it is, and then in Pegaxy, you got to wait 2 weeks to cash out. That also kind of helps in monitoring and looking at what's going on with the account. So if there's anything that's suspicious, we can take action as well.
Awesome. Fayun is asking an interesting question. Is the profit from the bird minting distributed to the stakers?
So
I
it's
assume it's a red list.
so it's right now obviously a delicate balance between keeping the project and all the tournament grand prizes, like the $50,000 tournament we have coming, well funded. So as it's written out now, it's the in-game revenue that goes to the RevDiz. So obviously, if there's a surplus anywhere, we're going to put it back into our liquidity providers and stakers and all that, as well as pumping up those tournaments and game rewards. But we'll have more specifics on all the percents and everything that's going into RevDiz coming out soon.
Nice. Do you
Yeah,
guys
and
plan on?
oh,
Sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we are working on some stuff to give more use cases to the SFNC token. Um, I wrote an article on the little top secret project I've been working on. I think you guys should be super excited for that, but I don't think I can say anything more about that just yet.
Yeah, we're gonna have lots of fun stuff. It's not just about one thing, like we've done from the beginning. This is about lots of games, lots of entertainment, and all focused around the community, right? I mean, that's what this is really about. It's about the gamers, the users, the community, the breeders, the guilds. I mean, that's what really makes this whole city, or universe work, if you will. And Eric has come up with some fantastic novel ideas for using SFNC in, what I'll say are unexpected ways. So hopefully we'll be presenting that soon after the mint and game launch. But one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
I get so excited. I know one thing at a time is the rule, but I'm not very good at it.
I want to know what are some of your favorite games from the past, or just like your whatever you sunk way too much time into as either a kid or a
Ooh, how far
teenager.
back do you want to go?
I want to go all the way back. My favorite games are all the way back.
Well, I've got a lot of
Tanks.
nostalgia. My favorite game, I think I played a ton as a kid with like my cousin and my sister, was Secret of Mana for Super Nintendo. It was
Yes,
just this really cool blend of action RPG and multiplayer. So that was, when people ask me what my favorite is, I think I have the most good memories with that one. So I bought the remake and I bought all the Switch upgrades and all that, but it's got a special place in my heart. And Chrono Trigger, obviously one of the greatest games of all
nice.
time, is on my list. And
Woo, yeah.
yeah, Super Nintendo was, that time in my life where gaming was just kind of changing your outlook and kind of giving you a passion. So I think a lot of the Super Nintendo titles are
Yeah.
on my list.
I
Yeah, for
think it
sure.
was like
Contra.
yeah, Contra, man. Love that game so much. I spent months trying to get that 96 star in Super Mario World. Like,
You
dude,
Ooh.
guys are
it took me forever to find it. And when I found it, I was like, man, I'm so mad right now. I was happy because I was like the first person I knew that got all the stars. But when
you
I
guys are
found it, I was
so
so
old
mad.
school. Like I'm hearing
Oh,
all
it's
your like my like honestly favorite games, favorite series is like Metal Gear Solid by far, hands down.
Metal
That's good
Gear was pretty
storytelling, man.
revolutionary. Yeah, it was Metal Gear had like some really innovative things when it first came out, had different puzzle solving and different things that really hadn't been introduced. I love all of the like massively revolutionary games that just like really set a new standard for people's concept of what was possible in a game. So most of my favorite games kind of cater to that. But yeah, I love the old school games. I remember I could literally remember like the first, entire like 45 minutes or hour of Secret of Mana in my head playing, like, I
oh,
really love that.
finding the sword for the first time and at the bottom of the
Good.
waterfall and everything. Oh
Oh my
man.
God, all those feels, man. The reveals and the feels. Woo!
Yep.
Yeah. So Arash is putting up here. There's what's the contract for the bird minting? Is that something that y'all could post? Is that live or available?
Yes, we can post that. I don't have it right in front of me with the AMA. I'm juggling a lot of stuff, but I'll ping our engineers and we'll get that out. It's been reviewed and it is public, of course, because it's blockchain. So no big secret there. I'll just make sure we get it out publicly so people can easily find it.
Are we on
Awesome.
schedule, Mr. Mad Badger and Mr. Fancy? Are we gonna have a mint in 4 hours and 30 minutes?
I am not hearing anything from anyone that's telling me that we're going to have to veer off course. It looks like we are locked and loaded, and torpedoes are in the chambers right now.
All right, and now that we have about 119 people in here, I want to reiterate, if your mint doesn't work right away, if it still says 0, we have 3 days, 72 hours. That's 3 days, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 3 days to make sure things go smooth. We left plenty of time to make sure this whitelist, works out. So you will get taken care of. If your name was on the list, but it says 0 on your screen, do not worry. We're gonna get you taken care of. There's no pressure for the first 3 days. So we got you.
Nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Gut Wrench is asking, is Kieran or any of the Warwick brothers involved in this project or just simply investors? And I think Kieran is an advisor,
What?
correct?
It, yeah, yeah. I mean, are you talking about like, are they gonna like play and get involved? Yeah, of course. Um,
Yep, they've all got their whitelist for minting some birds. They love it.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
and we're
are
still,
super bullish on this project.
yeah, no,
As
we're
am I.
still partnered with Illuvium. All that's going through. Um, I think the giveaway kind of coincided with an issue in their servers, so I think that was kind of just a little bit of a bump. And these things are unforeseen, but things happen. So that's kind of what happened with that. It wasn't because we weren't partnered with them anymore or something. We still are. They still have skins. Um, The alluvium birds will be in the shop, at least the Rampire one. And the shop, we have a whole write up on how that's going to work. It's I mean, I could just sort of tell you guys right now. So we decided, because a traditional shop wouldn't work. Because if we're updating it, and let's say we have 100 of bird A skins and then 200 bird B skins, those are going to be sold out almost instantly, and no one's going to have a chance or a fair shot to get it. So we're running it more or less like a raffle system, where you would you'd put up the FNC for whichever skin you would want, and then it enters you into a raffle. So then everyone kind of has a fair chance of getting what skin they want in the shop, and they don't have to wake up when it refreshes or things like that. And because they're not unlimited, like we have everything is limited. We can't just have it up for like a week where you can just come and purchase it, sort of like Fortnite. So we kind of went the other route, and it's kind of like a raffle system. But we think that will give everyone a fair chance at an opportunity for it. And again, if this doesn't work out in the first launch or something like that, we can always adjust it. But we think this is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, flexibility is our superpower, because too many people get stuck, and because they said something, they just want it to be that way despite reality. We have learned over and over and over again that we have to be responsive to the community's needs. We have to be responsive to the general, crypto sphere and whatever is going on in the zeitgeist. So no one should ever, worry. Nothing with us is set in stone. All we want is the best way, right? We just and we think we've got a really good system to make it fair for people, while also rewarding the faithful FNC, stakers and holders.
Awesome. Grishy is wanting to know, what about marketing? Do you guys have any plans on that for advertising?
Oh, geez. I mean,
Oh,
look
I
at
mean, it hasn't
look
stopped.
at the room. Yeah,
If you
look at
look at
the
Twitter, we've got titans talking about us. The
yeah.
marketing really never stopped. That is, in fact, part of the marketing is this big 50,000 kickoff tournament we have. That's something that almost markets itself, something that grabs headlines. And we've got a marketing team and a whole external marketing team that we've recently brought on board. So they'll be launching mini campaigns in more traditional ways. Obviously, with crypto, at this point, it doesn't do us any good to just shout out into the Google sphere about what we have going on. We're getting there. I have this really intense gut feeling that this year is going to be massive for education and growth for general crypto and for gaming crypto and blockchain and NFTs. You can feel the momentum building, the electricity in the air. So yeah, marketing is going to be absolutely crazy coming up. These are all the things we're thinking about. We know we need growth for the games to be successful. We need streaming. We need competition. I mean, look, we want to really make this. We want to take blockchain and NFT gaming into the real esports sphere. Our goal, of course, is the fancy stadium where people could come in and everyone's going to have tournaments to get together. Once things in person get back on the table. But yeah, absolutely. We've got massive marketing coming.
Awesome. Now, I have a question that is just burning on everybody's minds. Why
No
didn't I
Super
get
Bowl
an
commercial.
OG role?
Super Bowl commercial.
Sorry, you?
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't have an OG role, to be honest.
I just I'm so baffled that I thought that I actually mattered to you guys, and
Oh, what an oversight. I know you're on the OG list. I'm not sure how the
How
role got
about,
slipped through, but you're
Wait,
definitely
wait,
an OG. You've been there.
what if I
wait,
just
wait.
I'll send
What
you
do you
an extra
what
bird.
do- what are you talking about, dude?
yeah.
You have OG. You always have had OG. Don't check yet. You always have had. Yeah. What are you talking about? I just checked. You have OG.
Nice
Look,
work,
Oh
Eric.
man,
look. Yeah. I don't know.
I must have missed that this entire
Yeah.
time, man. This
Yeah.
is
You did.
crazy.
You didn't check.
Yeah,
Look, I just pasted
man.
it.
I
Yeah.
have slept so little that that my
Yeah.
eyes just
It's not your
simply
fault, man.
confused. I
You've
know.
had OG the whole time. It was yeah. It's okay.
Uh,
We all make mistakes, but yeah, yeah, you're good.
I think somebody missed the thing about traits. People keep on asking about the traits, so maybe they came in late. There will be percentage chances of passing down specific things from the parents, or to have mutations from there. So there will be chances, passed down
And
for all the
documentation
different things.
coming.
Yes, yes. All of these documents will be available before you start breeding or before you go to claim. I haven't claimed anything myself. I'm still waiting on answers, even though I already know how I'm going to claim. But
Yeah.
I always tell people to do their own due diligence, and so I don't like to influence anybody's ideas on that. So I don't know if I asked. Did I ask if you guys were launching on Google as well as iOS?
Yeah, no.
Uh,
So right now, just sort of correct order to make sure no one's confused. Through the MetaMask Web3 browser, anyone that has a MetaMask browser on their phone, through the MetaMask wallet, is going to be able to play. We have our Android app is ready. I believe it's going to be on the store very soon. If not, you'll definitely be able to sideload it. And everyone knows iOS can be a little more finicky and difficult. We're jumping through their hoops currently, and we have high hopes that it will be arriving very soon as well.
Awesome. Sorry, my dog is giving me grief at the moment. I apologize. I'm like wrestling
I know
over here
that
while
feeling.
on this. uh,
Yeah, my Frenchie likes to snore and fart underneath me while I'm on important calls.
yeah. Oh man, it's funny because it's true. Is scholarship fully integrated, automated in the UI? Some games have a integrated scholarship interface, and then some games kind of like rely on you to create a
Yeah.
magic link. So how's that gonna work?
No, we're working on the whole dashboard system. It'll all be kind of simple UI. You can just pop in and do. If you're familiar with PegXE, they do it really well. So something similar to that. But that's not going to be on at launch. That's about 1 to 2 weeks after we'll have the rental and sort of the dashboard all out.
Very nice. What happens if you only buy one Genesis bird? Can you still breed?
Yep, we're gonna have like a mare system, so you'll be able to like rent someone else's to breed with if they want.
We'll have a truck stop. Yeah, we'll have a truck
Yeah,
stop for people
fancy,
to pull up
fancy
on.
come and go.
Yeah, no,
Very.
Truck stop.
that will be
So,
again. It's not there at launch, but we will have like that mare breeding system, so you can just like go and rent. Let's say if someone has a legendary bird, and you want to try to get some of those traits with your bird, you can pay the price, but probably won't be cheap
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't.
launch.
I don't think the breeding document is coming out soon is stemming any of these questions for some reason. Um, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it just, like all things in due time, guys. I know that everybody wants answers. There is so much going on. They're not sitting back and playing Contra or anything like that.
Oh God.
no, it's very
Yeah.
interesting right now because this is something else I find that's revolutionary that doesn't really get talked about as much as the mechanics of blockchain. But if you think about like Rockstar, right? They've been doing their thing with GTA 5 and GTA Online, and it was like, I don't know, a decade. And then they announced they're finally going to start working on the new GTA. Now, as they do that over the next few years, they're not really running a Discord where people are in there talking to the devs about, daily changes and incremental accomplishments of the game development, which is where blockchain and NFT gaming is so much different because literally we're building this in front of everyone's eyes. We are scrutinized, all the time as far as what's going on. And, I think there's some good to that too. I think it keeps everyone on track. It keeps the community engaged. But I do think it's worth pointing out that it's certainly interesting that we've reached the point where people expect sort of real time updates on development for games. I like it personally, but it's definitely something we're all adapting to. So we appreciate everyone's patience, as we do our best to build and educate and inform and strategize and change in real time with all of you.
Yeah, I one of my personal things and my job for people that don't know is to go in, look at games, analyze them, and just tear them apart. And I really specifically look at promises and delivery. So when a studio is coming out and saying, "Hey, we're going to have this at this time," and then like 2 days before that happens, so like, "Well, we're going to have to postpone that a couple months," you knew plenty long ago that you were gonna have to postpone. So why did you wait to the last minute, you know? And so I like to look at the track record of promises and delivery very heavily because when you have these teams that kind of like seem more transparent, but they're not actually hitting their milestones, or they, if you can go in and look and see if they actually have like realistic goals, this and that. But it is important. Like you can't expect too much because then if they're promising all these things or saying all of this, then they have to live up to that or they have to backpedal and apologize when they can't. Um, so you guys announced that the mint would be in Q1, and then I think there one slight delay in when you said there would be a mint, or
Oh
was it
Uh,
yeah, we
just
did
yeah, one day.
for contract. Yeah, we had the audit going through on the contracts. We just wanted to make sure everything got through properly. So we
Yeah,
did
we
right?
push
want
it
to.
about 24 hours, I think.
We had a bunch of people that also missed the first window to submit their addresses, so we wanted to give them a 12-hour window too. And
Yeah,
yeah, it was great because nobody is upset about it. Nobody really was mad at us or grieved or anything like that. They just they were like, all right, cool, one extra day to like hang out and chat. But yeah, there's just we're really trying hard to take care of everyone, and I know Bubbles is finally getting some sleep, but he's been dealing with everyone that has whitelist
Bubbles
issues.
is a machine.
Dude,
That man, I can't believe him. He
yeah,
really, I
yeah.
hope everyone's kind to Bubbles out there. He takes care of so many people each day. Every time I check in, I just see him on it.
He's the ultimate
Yeah.
renaissance man. He literally is helping with every aspect of this project, this launch, everything. And he's not even awake right now. We're talking about him, so this isn't to fluff him up. He's a beast, and yes, we really wanted to make sure that we got as many people on that white list as possible. And there were a lot of people that were like, "I missed it," or "I might have given you the wrong address," or this or that. But again, we have that 72-hour window, guys. So we're gonna get it worked out. We had to close the whitelist for now, but we're gonna get everybody taken care of, and we have 3 days to do so. So just hang with us, and we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, I just to touch on that, I like to consider myself a fairly responsive person. I welcome people to DM me, and I just like to be personal like that. And so sometimes it is 2 days before I will get back to a DM. Like I'll try to acknowledge it, and then I'll get back to you in like 2 days. That's just because I'm literally that busy. Whenever I DM Bubbles, I'm not even finished typing, and he's like, "Yeah, what you need?" And I'm like, "What?" Uh, all right, cool. Like I'm like, dude, how are you like? And he handles everything right away, and I'm just always amazed. I'm like, that is very impressive. That you're taking care of your project, you're taking care of me and my people. Anybody that asks, it's done. And I just like I love the feedback that you guys give and the responsiveness. It's not many servers. Like I'm in. I just deleted 80 servers last weekend, just to give you guys some context for things that I deemed as not even worth further looking into. That was a fraction of the servers that I'm in, and it's again it's my job to check in all these games and make sure we're in the highest quality places. And the interaction from the team and the mods and everybody here is unparalleled, and this is why it's one of my favorite servers, is because I'm guaranteed to have a good time when I show up, and that's really what it's all about. Because you can have a game, but you have to have players to play that game. And when people don't feel acknowledged or don't feel loved, they don't have any loyalty. They're not gonna stick with you when the next there's gonna be so many like quick bucks made. There's gonna be a lot of people hopping around, just like with the NFT projects. A lot of people hopping around, but you're gonna see a couple games really persist, and that's because the team makes that happen. So really
Yeah, and
appreciate you guys, really do.
it it's been awesome because, we do try to educate people and as best we can, and what I've noticed is once we do that, the people that we have educated really help educate the other people that didn't that weren't there when we said it. So it's not like we have to do a lot of repeating ourselves because there's always somebody in there ready to just pass the message on and keep the project, you know, uh, up to date, keep everyone up to date, and keep everyone moving. So we've been extremely fortunate with that. And now that we're talking about the Discord server and everything, Mr. Fancy mentioned earlier, or either Mr. Fancy or Janitor, we will be resetting all the roles. You know what I mean? We're going to start fresh once this game starts because right now we're kind of in whitelist mode. You know what I mean? But after that, we can reorganize based on a whole bunch of different things. So our Discord channel is going to keep evolving, keep modern. I'm talking to a team right now about creating a bot for us that'll make it so you can verify once, and then it'll know that you have a fancy bird NFT in your wallet. It'll give you special access in the Discord um, through a bot. Through bots, so that we don't have to do it manually. So there's going to be a whole new process, a whole new verification, and a whole new structure to the community that keeps it fresh and keeps it modern.
Nice.
Yeah,
Here's
good
an
stuff.
here's an easy question for you guys. Even if you don't have any FNC, you have a minted bird. Can you still play the game, or do you have to have FNC staked to play?
You can
No.
play the game with just the bird. Yeah, absolutely. We want to get people in there. Now, for tournaments down the road, we are going to style them kind of like the online poker tournaments where there's a buy-in, and that kind of fluffs the pot up and pushes things up and makes the rewards bigger. And so there is use for SFNC and FNC within the game, but to just play, just enjoy your NFT, no, you don't have to start with any.
Awesome.
Yep.
I want to touch on a question from about half an hour ago regarding the our little like kind of economic conversation that we had, and basically like how do we onboard boomers? And my son calls me a boomer, so maybe I can kind of touch on that. That's not my generation,
I had to have the
but
generation talk with my kids. I was explaining I'm Generation X, and I'm like, yeah, because the boomers were too lazy to even think of anything for us.
yeah, right.
Well, I don't even know where I'm in that one where everyone's like, uh, I'm not this one or this one. What's after Gen X?
I think there's Gen Y, Gen Z, then millennials, but then people
Millennial.
like
So
cut out. Yeah.
I'm in the middle of the millennial and the one before the millennial. So like
Yeah, my
everyone's
little
like, oh,
sister's right on the cusp.
they're like, oh, if you're born after 1982, you're a millennial. If you're born before 1982, you're Gen whatever. And I'm like, well, I was born in 1982. What am I? But yeah, it's just so funny trying to break it down. And now that the internet happened, that's kind of like a go-to. People just put you in a generation and really sit on it. But yeah, you're not a
Yeah.
boomer.
To directly
Yeah.
answer the
No, I'm
question,
not.
though, how does one onboard a boomer? And the answer to that is actually pretty simple. You have to be something that can't be ignored. It's already happened with Bitcoin, which is the granddaddy front runner of all this type of stuff. But now, TradFi and all these stodgy, it's only a matter of time before Munger and Buffett, end up acquiring Bitcoin by accident just because some company they have holds it. So with this sort of gaming phenomenon, and if you think about the mechanics of the breeding, which by the way, I get so excited about breeding because it's sort of a new element that couldn't exist without NFTs and blockchain, not in its current, form where there's these secondary markets and all that. But what's going to happen is just like the dad that doesn't want the dog or the cat and then ends up being best friends with the dog or the cat after you get it, um, they're going to be a little grumpy about having to learn new stuff. But eventually, they won't be able to ignore it. Their kids and grandkids are going to be involved with it, playing on it, and it's just going to be something that, even if it's just a matter of them sending out some sort of gift card for FNC or something, they will not have a choice. We're not going to give them a choice.
It's like that
Yeah.
that episode of Family Guy when the guy's got his kids in the wallet and he's just slamming the guy in the face with it, like, look at my kids, look at my kids, look at my
Look at
kids.
my kids! Look at my kids!
Isn't there like a crypto.com stadium or something? And I know LeBron James just signed with crypto.com.
Oh yeah,
And
in
I
LA,
want to
they
say
took the big
this
Yep.
one from
real
Staples.
quick. Um, do your research on crypto.com before, like, this is not an endorsement from me at all, and I do not endorse them. And you can do your research on the CEO and everything else. So I'm not going to get into that right now, but just me mentioning that is not an
Spicy.
endorsement. Please, no, really research that guy. Do yourself a favor. But no, like onboarding, like they said, people aren't going to be able to ignore this. You're going to have so many different massive titles, from gaming to DeFi and this and that, that are really going to become prominent. There's so many marketing efforts that are being made right now, and you know that yeah. So when computers came out, they were scary. They were like technology, and then the internet. Well, I don't know how to use this World Wide Web thing, and I've got 48 AOL CDs, and I'm gonna make me a little prism pyramid, thing in my art class or whatever. But yeah, it takes time for adoption to happen because people have to be kind of like desensitized to the scariness of it. These things aren't scary. So really what's going to produce more adoption is for people to come along and make it really simple and really easy. And that's happening all over the place. And people don't even realize how integrated blockchain already is. The fact that Amazon and Microsoft and all these big companies are already using blockchain technology. And so by you using their products or services, you are using blockchain technology. Well, this isn't really made public. It's not something that everybody goes running around and shouting about, but it's out there and everybody is using it. They just don't know it. So it's going to really come down to awareness and people just making it simple for others. I still have issues with my printer and trying to scan something. And I don't know if any of you guys have watched Office Space, but I always have those
Oh my
moments where
god,
I'm
of
like, you
course.
want to go? You want to go? And it's just like, I'm talking to an inanimate object over here, but yeah,
You
Well,
know,
there's
I want to see the at-home Office Space movie. I want Mike Judge to make Office Space post-pandemic, where everyone's having the same issues, but they're alone in their apartment or dealing with their pets and
uh
kids and the printer.
man, I got
you know,
I'm not even gonna go there. Never
so,
mind.
I was just gonna say, I also, keep in mind as well that we're minting 8,888 on this first mint, so we will have adoption, but we're not gonna burn out anytime soon. You know what I mean? It's not like we're gonna flood the market and it's gonna be, something where people aren't excited every time there's a breeding event or every time that we're expanding a little bit. You know what I mean? That we're gonna keep it in a place and a quantity that is gonna make sure people always want to get in. There's going to be like a, that limited feeling, that urge to get involved early, and that's, with breeding being only acceptable for the Genesis mint, that's really going to push some demand up for those birds. But yeah, we're not going to get to a point where we, are burning out unless we get the boomers involved for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I'll definitely be a purchaser of the Gen ones on the market. I'm hoping some people try to flip because I want to have a whole stable of birds. I want a bird ranch.
I think there's a word
will
for
there
that. I think it's
be
called a
yeah,
farm, right? Is a bird ranch a farm?
That's a fancy farm.
Fancy
Fancy
farm.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I got a
A
ranch in
coop.
Wyoming. I'm going to set
Sam,
up
you
a
got it.
real fancy farm out there. People can come and see pictures of my NFT birds.
There you go.
A zoozeum instead of a museum, a zoozeum. I don't know. There's something there.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah. An aviary. Will there be any community engagement to come up with future skins, like any contests people can kind of like throw in their input if they're a
Oh,
contest winner or something?
absolutely.
Like, nice.
Absolutely. We have, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this is there's going to be so much opportunity for creativity and participation from our community. This is something I just want to touch on. I don't want to get too deep into it. It's not the right forum, but a lot of this disconnect we have with the regular gamers and NFTs, they don't want to be sold another thing. They don't like the JPEG, whatever. What I see this as, and what we're going to educate everyone that this is the opposite. This is actually ownership of the game by the players. By owning that NFT, you can choose to withhold it, to breed it, to use it. If you wanted to with these NFTs, they're out there. They're on the blockchain. It's yours once you have it, right? So if some clever person invents their own game that uses Fancy Birds can live in multiple universes. That's what sort of excites me, is really seeing what kind of creativity we're going to get from the community and from our devs and from any new talent we can bring on, is seeing what they can do in this awesome new pool to play in.
Yeah, I was just imagining a Fancy Bird in Galaxy Fight Club. I don't know how that would work out, but
Super
Yeah,
Smash
no,
Birds,
we
man.
have
Super
all
Smash
kinds of
yeah,
these
Birds.
right.
sessions. Exactly. We have these sessions where we just, because obviously we don't have control over other projects, but we always hope that people want to be friends. And so we're always thinking about possible ways to collab and to really bring all these things to life, because it's definitely about more than just us. The more success that comes to this whole niche of gaming, the more fun and the more success every individual involved is going to enjoy, which is just amazing to see that sort of mechanic at work.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna really quickly touch on a couple of things, and then I'm not gonna attempt to speak for the team. But people are asking about the breeding costs, and all of these things actually have to come down to the balance of the economy and to doing what makes sense. So while you may or may not, and I'm speaking to the team now, may or may not know the actual breeding costs, because again, all of these things, I mean, people, we have economists in this space to handle these things and to make sure that everything is balanced properly. So there's going to be a lot of claiming questions and a lot of uh, just a lot of questions regarding that, and again, they will be answered, and they are working on that, and there's not trying to trap you or anything like that. We might make a misclick or a mistake and think that we have prepared, and we have not. And these things happen, and these are a work in progress. There's You won't find a game that launches that has all the answers, because as soon as you do, there's going to be somebody that comes in and says, "Man, if you had this feature, that would simplify the gameplay so much." And they're like, "Man, we have this view of our game, but we didn't see it from that outside perspective. And now that we understand that that information is missing from you, now we can just add that right in." And so anytime after a game goes, live, you're going to see a bunch of implementations and hot fixes and all these things that are hard to know beforehand. I know you guys want answers to these things. They're gonna come out as soon as possible. Um, but yeah, sorry. It's just difficult to
No, I
really, I mean,
appreciate that. I think you summed that up quite well. And just, we have our figures. We're paying attention and we're taking feedback from our advisors and our experts. Like you say, there's whole economists that have different theories and opinions on all of this. We've been told 2 tokens, 3 tokens, 1 token, inflationary, deflationary, and you just have to pay attention, listen, and look. But what we've done, I think, that's going to give us the best possible springboard is the first thing we do, and I say this so many times in all the different chats, is you got to think from the user's perspective. How are they going to see this? How are they going to receive it? Is this acceptable from someone who's not even a crypto person's point of view? And starting there, and once again remaining flexible and open to the feedback, right? To see what we need to adjust. I think we're going to be able to ease right into it. Certainly won't have there is no perfection. There's just only better than the last iteration. So we'll definitely have work to do, but we're going to take the feedback from the community and we're going to implement it because that's what we're here to do. And just to give some ballpark for the breeding, at current market prices, it's not going to be costing thousands and thousands of dollars to breed like Pegaxi or something. It's going to be challenging because obviously we don't want to devalue the birds. but it's going to be attainable, for almost anyone.
Yeah. And just to touch on that, like Polymus is a different type of protocol. We have our own ball of wax. We had some things in the white paper that we had to backpedal on, and so we had to take it out because it was just too soon. Things were changing, and to think that the answers can be out before knowing your user base and knowing like people's intentions. So let me ask this: if you breed, does that lock the bird up? Is there like a an exhaustion period or whatever? Like it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
there's a cooldown.
just like
Then
real
you'll
life.
and then um, you'll mint the so when you breed, your birds won't be able to be used, and then the egg has a cooldown on it, and that will be an NFT that's minted when you breed, and you can sell that egg as an egg, or you can hold it, or you can breed it, or you can do whatever you want with it.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. So there's definitely going to be, two sides of the coin. Do I want to breed this? Do I want to use this right now? Do I want to scholar it out? Like, there's going to be so many different implications, and um, that's where guilds come in to offer like support and strategy. I know that there's some squads set up in Polymus already that have just really fine-tuned some amazing strategies and really help people kind of like maximize what they do in those games. So, it comes down to a lot more than just your personal inclination to breed or to have scholars or this or that. Like there's a balance not only with the dev studio but also within your own personal ideas of how that should go. And yes, I saw the number up there. There could be 222,000 possible birds, and I said we might see 30% of that. We might see a lot less than that. Like there's just a lot of ramifications that go along with this stuff. So it's not just jump in and maximize and exploit and find the loopholes and all of this. It's a balancing process, and it's also it's going to be interesting. I have always said that I look forward to the future of this studio because you're responsive. And so I wholeheartedly believe that you will take the feedback from the community as you have continued to prove in the past that you'll take that feedback and do the right things to make the game successful because again it doesn't matter the little nuances. If the people don't want to be a part of that, then they won't. They'll find something else. So you have to do what makes sense for your community, for your product, for the longevity of the protocol. You can't just give everything away for free. So there's a lot of nuances that are going to come out right around the corner. I know it's like crunch time, and you want your answers now, and you're going to get them ASAP. I can assure you guys of that.
Yeah, I think the clearly
Very
the
well
most
put.
in demand thing is the information on breeding. That seems to be something that people are very excited about. But we should probably wrap it up so we can do this whole mint thing today. Um, but
Yeah, I do have
is there
some time.
any last minute stuff you guys want to cover, or should we get back to work?
I just want to thank Hot Sauce for being so articulate and being able to sum things up so well. He really gets our ethos and our culture. So, and once again, working with Polimos and the other guilds, all of them, everyone's been so great, and it's so great to have that support. So, I just want to thank them, and of course, I have to thank our absolutely brilliant fancy community. You guys are just the best. You have no idea. I go to sleep for my 2.5 hours a night with a big smile on my face thinking about all of you. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate having you guys here and having playmates, if you will. Thanks, everyone.
The absolute best for
Thank you
sure.
guys.
Thank you guys so much. It was an honor and a pleasure to be up here on stage with you guys. And keep asking questions. We'll keep answering them as best we can. You can hop into the Polymus Discord and ask. We have a Fancy Birds channel. We have all kinds of channels set up to answer your
Absolutely.
questions over there. And they will continue to answer questions over here. I love you guys. This is such a fun community. So happy to be here. Get to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
All
everyone.
I
right,
will
thanks,
talk to y'all
guys.
in the next one.
We're
Bye.
gonna get back to work. We'll see you at the mint. All right, guys.
Bye, guys.